There's been a bunch of them, but only one is truly my favorite. Hi there, I'm John. This is Two Brothers RC, and this is a look back at the last 4 years of owning a turbo timber. I got my start with the timber, and it was my first hobby-grade airplane, and it was also my first hobby-grade airplane that I ever wrecked. So today I'm going to go over why I love this plane and why I think you should love it too. Okay, maybe love is a strong word. I don't want you to marry a timber and raise a bunch of timblets, but I do want to objectively go over this plane and show you what it's capable of. So let's do something that I should have done a long time ago and put this plane through its paces and give you an unbiased look at it, starting with the bush flying review. We will start with the easiest location, which was the airport Hillside. The only real challenge to flying here is landing with the hill in mind. If you don't flare into a 3-point landing, you're gonna prop strike. Timbers don't have the strongest motor mount, so avoid damaging it by using proper technique. Flare it in and get that nose up before the wheels touch down, and you'll be fine.
That was perfect.
That was a good turn.
Timber handled the hillside with no problem, so let's move on to the next challenge, which is the airport entrance. There's only one way in and one way out. The entrance to the airport is surrounded by trees and power lines. It is narrow, it's a little bit sketchy, but it's perfectly flyable if you coordinate your turns and avoid loading up the wings without using some power in the turn. Take off, swing it around, drop it on the ground. Timber gets a 2 out of 5 here, but this video introduces some extra credit challenges to see what else we can do in the same location. Like taking off under the fence and landing right back under the fence. Or torque rolling next to the hangars. Or landing on a 5-foot wide path next to the fence.
Oh, hi.
Check out these sweet new Kin additive gear right in the front, KIN. Got the original timber wheels on it. Look at this suspension. Now it's totally optional, but I went ahead and put the original triangle fairings on the wheels just to make them look pretty similar to the original Turbo Timber Evo gear. But we're going to take this for the 3 out of 5 session, see how it does.
Moving on to Jack Smith Park, our 3 out of 5 scoring location. Michael at Kin Additive reached out to me via email a few weeks ago about demonstrating his new timber gear upgrade. We were using Falcon RC gear struts for the first 2 locations that you saw. These are some heavy-duty gear and they weigh only slightly more than the stock setup. Even crash landing doesn't faze them.
Well, got a tree limb.
Yep.
See it?
Yeah, looks okay.
Timber effortlessly conquered Jack Smith Park, but let's up the ante for some extra credit and try to succeed where we failed with the Arrow's Bigfoot. Flying out of this path and landing back inside of it again.
Called it.
Doable. I won't do it again. Let's do it again.
You want to do it again? All right, let's go.
Ooh, heart's pounding on that one.
Yeah, I bet.
Moving on to our 4 out of 5 location, the power transmission lines, we start seeing more of the limitations of the timber platform. It's harder to maneuver in tighter spaces, but because of its wing loading, it also penetrates wind easier, so there are some trade-offs that you get here. The kin additive gear simply do not care about the terrain. These gear are a great investment for your timber. Unless you do what I did later on in the video, these should outlast the timber itself. Timber scores a 4 out of 5 here, so let's move on to our final challenge, the Lakeside Forest.
So the gear holding up pretty well.
Yeah, no, they're definitely holding up really good. I mean, look at the shock absorption on these things. They don't care about any of the terrain that we're flying on. Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Oh, yeah.
The Lakeside Forest continues to be the hardest place that I've flown anything in. There's 2 ways in or out, but the way that we're coming in, no airplane has any business being flown that way. If we get timber through this window, it's earning a 5 out of 5.
If timber is a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5. That was dicey as hell.
Yeah, it was.
It started sinking toward the end. I think I got caught in some wind or I dumb-thumbed it, but either way, we're going back.
Maybe you hit the tree too.
Everything about this location is brutal to airplanes. The large roots in the ground wreak havoc on motor mounts from prop strikes, the suspension gets the hell beat out of it, and the airframe needs to be sturdy to take impacts that you're gonna get when you mess up, and you will mess up.
Timby, no.
Gonna bring it around the curve here. Five out of 5 bush planes.
Woo-woo.
Do it again. I think 1.5 meters is the biggest we're going to get through that window.
Oh, yeah.
That is rough, man.
By now, I think I've established that timber is a great bush plane. Obviously, it's not perfect. Nothing really is. We'll get into the downsides in a minute, but first...
It's like it didn't even happen.
How does it handle even more extreme bush flying? I took it to the creek preserve for extra credit behind my house. Here's what happened.
Hey. It's still good though, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It became very obvious that timber isn't gonna fly in places like this. I mean, hell, it was never designed to. I couldn't even do much with my Fun Cub here. Yeah, I have a Fun Cub, and I'll post it soon, I promise. But even that struggled in this spot.
Hey, it survived.
It did.
It's really hard to fly here, so I stuck to hovering. Until we walked further along the path,
Got it.
Good catch.
and I saw a golden opportunity that I completely messed up. I really hate that play stupid games, win stupid prizes cliche, but it's true. If you fly in confined areas with a plane that's a real challenge, you need to be prepared to get ice cold feet in the creek. It took a 10G impact to destroy the kin additive gear. I think you can see why I'm recommending them. There's a link in the description so you can pick up your own set. Definitely consider checking them out and see what they've got to offer.
Cool.
Finally broke the gear.
Well, every strut is good up until it takes a direct 10G impact with the ground, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Timber survived the Two Brothers bush flying trials, but it's more than just a bush plane. Unlike my Fun Cub, Timber is actually very aerobatic and it's capable of 3D that isn't just hovering and torque rolling. And that makes me love it even more. I am really happy with a high-wing bush plane when it's more than just fly slow and floaty. I'm thrilled that other airframes are out there for that kind of flying, but I'm also happy that I can get a great middle ground between floaty bush flying and aerobatics.
Pop over the rudder.
If you want your Timber to fly the way mine does, there's a few things that you need to do. First, change out the propeller to a 13x4. To make it really work, it's more involved than just a prop swap. Take the existing propeller and cowling off, then sand the motor shaft while the motor spins. This will give surface area for the collet to bite down onto. Wipe off the debris from the shaft. Put the collet back on with the 13x4 E-flite propeller linked in the description, which is a drop-in fit, and torque it down. Then add the timber spinner that's also linked in the description. This gets you the thrust, but now you need the center of gravity. Most timbers are nose heavy. Mine is very much anything but. Use the metal Timber X stabilizer rod, also in the description. That'll get you to balancing in the middle of the second window like I do. Use a lightweight 2200 battery and you're good to go. Get that center of gravity even further back with a light piece of plywood. Remove the existing battery mount and Gorilla Glue a piece of ply inside of the timber with a battery strap. Then move the receiver under the wing plugs. You definitely need to reprogram it this way though, so join us on Discord and we can help you out if you're new to reprogramming. Stock servos are great for most of the flying that you're going to find yourself doing, but if you want the instant snaps and spins that you're seeing me pull off, the HEFRC B11 DLS servos linked in the description are my go-to recommendation. If you need help, let us know on Discord and we'll walk you through it. My setup guide linked in the card at the top right basically covers everything else, including how to get full span flaps and crow. Another mystery to newer pilots are the slats that Timber ships with. Unless all you want to do is fly slow, I suggest that you leave them off. I think they make the plane look phenomenal, so I hate saying to keep them off. But watch how hard it is to recover from a flat spin with the slats installed.
Yeah, just a hard impact. One of the gear. Oh, the spring finally broke after who knows how long.
This was also the first time that I ever busted my springs in hundreds of flights. Get the kin gear upgrade and that'll never be a thing to worry about ever again.
Flop.
Also, this one's been bugging me for a long time, but do you know how basically every person with a Timber has white rectangles on the leading edges of their wing? Guys, Horizon ships red decals for them. It comes in the box. If you're not going to put the slats on, put the stickers over the slat holes. It looks way better and it's less jarring. To reinforce the leading edge against damage, put a strip of red electrical tape from 3M over it. The color almost matches and it adds a bit of ding resistance too. Going back to that image real fast, notice how it has twin timber gear. Horizon listened, but it took them a while. There's a new Timber shipping in summer of 2024 with updated gear springs and a 70 amp ESC, which should overcome all of the overheating issues and gear issues that people had run into.
Whoops. I done goofed up my float.
Another downside to the Timber is, unfortunately, the motor mount.
It's your motor by the sounds of it. There's like a bent prop shaft or something?
The mount itself is not the best designed thing that I've ever seen in my life. The motor does sit on a metal plate which is screwed into a plastic mount glued to carbon fiber rods running through the fuselage. That's all well and good, but the plastic mount the motor is attached to can fatigue over time and break. Some people on Thingiverse have took it upon themselves to create a 3D printed replacement. I've never used it, but I've heard it works well if you epoxy it and follow their directions exactly.
That was awesome.
And there you have it, 4 years of owning a timber. This is how I prefer to fly, and what I did over the years to get the most out of my timber. My bird is a 3D powerhouse and a true bush plane, mastering the most difficult challenges that I've thrown at it. You might be like Turbo Parker and RC groups and not care about 3D or aerobatics with a timber, and hey, that's great. What I love about model aviation is that everyone can fly how they want to. And only you can determine what's best for you. In the end, I'm just some guy on YouTube who flies stuff and wants to inspire people to exceed their own limitations and experience what model aircraft are fully capable of. Never let yourself think that you can't do what you're seeing on screen. It wasn't that long ago when I was thinking that I couldn't do it either. Now I'm teaching people how to fly like this, and I'd love to welcome you to the Two Brothers community on Discord, where like-minded people share their adventures in model aviation and support one another in their journey through this hobby.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Just make sure that you learn your lesson and lock the wheel down before you fly, because it will come off. Twice now, apparently, because I don't pay attention to things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.